Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today my good friend Kanishka and I are filming a preview video for the 2020 World Figure Skating Championships happening in Montreal later this month. And today we're going to focus on the ladies discipline, so we'll be doing a preview for that, not a predictions video because every time I do that I'm wrong. So I think the appropriate format to do would be discussing the athletes from the countries that qualified 3 spots, and then 2 spots, and then some of the other ladies as well. Unfortunately, we don't have time to mention everybody who has qualified for the World Figure Skating Championships. Otherwise, that would make this a 4-hour video, and we don't have time for that. So, Kanishka, are you ready to get started?
I'm ready, yep.
Excellent. So let's start off the video with a bang and discuss the ladies who will be competing on behalf of Russia. I think a lot of skating fans know them as the trifecta because they are the 3 Russian athletes coached by Iteri and have been dominating the season on the ladies senior circuit this year. And they make a pretty good case to potentially do a Russian sweep of the podium, although that's not a guarantee. But let's talk about them one by one. First off, I'd like to talk about the fan favorite and also my personal favorite, which is Alena Kostornaia. It's very hard not to like her. She's just so good. She does the best job of blending artistry with technical talent. And the element that I think exemplifies that the most is her triple axel. That is such a difficult jump to do with a forward takeoff edge that a lot of times the skaters like to telegraph that jump. But her entry is so complex and difficult, and the exit is it technically called a falling leaf?
I think so. It's like a transition, right?
Yeah,
After the jump. So,
that
yeah.
is so gorgeous, and she doesn't lose any speed coming out of that difficult jump or any of her other jumps, whether it's a triple triple combination or a solo jump. She pays attention to her choreography well. It's she's just so talented. You can tell it's not hard for her to be emotionally expressive. And the choreography, I think, actually works with her. I think his name is Daniel. I'm probably saying the name incorrectly. I think yeah, Daniel choreographs for a lot of Iteri's students. And sometimes I think it's a bit much, but Kostornaia handles it really well. Now, I gotta hear, are you a fan of Aliona's or not?
I am a fan of Alyona,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, the speed that she kind of like carries in and out of her jumps are amazing. She looks like an angel. I'm not a huge fan of the Twilight piece of music. Don't kill me on it, but I'm not a huge fan of that music because I think that there's so much more to her than just something so generic like Twilight. But she is such a young girl still, so she's still growing into the artist that she can become. But at this stage, the way that she skates is very much like a senior lady, and I can't 100% say that about the other two of the trifecta. So if she does what she is capable of, there's no doubt in my mind that she should be the clear favorite for the gold medal. And we can kind of see this based on the scores this season. The judges are rewarding her technically, but also on the program component marks compared to the other two. And I think that'll keep her in good stead. And Montreal will be very exciting if she can follow through on her talent.
That's right. I didn't know you had that opinion about our free program. I actually think I've never seen Twilight, don't come for me. But I like the music and I think it's very age appropriate.
And I give you credit for that. I think it is age appropriate at this point. So
But also to make your point, she can handle a lot more. And I think we'll look forward to seeing her programs evolve over the next few seasons. Um, Yay, Aliona. So she can be challenged for the gold medal by her other teammates. I think the most threatening would be Anna Shcherbakova, who was actually the only person to beat Aliona this season at Russian Nationals. Aliona won everything else though. But Anna Shcherbakova is a threat mainly because she does quad jumps. And I believe she attempts the quad lutz and the flip. Not always done well. She is really, really susceptible to under rotations and downgrades and falls. And as you mentioned earlier, she has lower program component marks compared to Aliona. So she's really going to want to rely on rotating some of those quads in order to get ahead.
yeah, like her jumps from like just what you see on camera, because I never seen her skate live. I was not present in Las Vegas for Skate America where she debuted, so I didn't get to see her live. But however, based on what I see on the camera on YouTube and the live streams, she gets a lot of tight revolution on those quad jumps, and I think she's my threat to the gold medal in some ways, because I feel like if Alena becomes vulnerable and feels that pressure of being that world champion that everyone thinks that she's going to be, Anna could sneak in there. And with her arsenal of jump elements, and she has pretty decent spins as well, I think that she is definitely that wild card to like make a threat at that gold medal. Again, like I'm not a huge fan of the program, especially the free program. I think the short program is more suited to her. It's a little bit more dark and edgy, I think. However, that said, I think that she can skate very well, and I expect her to deliver and really make a case for herself. Because what I noticed with the trifecta is that one competition go one way, and then the next one can be a total different thing. And so who knows? Maybe Shcherbakova is waiting on the Worlds to really make it her time. So
Yeah, you make a good point. And I know I said earlier that Alena's the fan favorite. There is also a group of people who actually prefer Anna Shcherbakova, musically speaking, to Alena. So it's okay for all of us to have different tastes. I do think Anna has some more developing to do with her basic skating skills. So that's why her program component marks are lower than Alena's. Now we can talk about Alexandra Trusova. And how do I put it this way? She has a lot to work on with her skating skills and musical interpretation, and she seems to be offsetting that by attempting so many quad jumps. And I'm not sure I'm loving the results I've been seeing this season. Of course, she's appeared to be the third rank of the trifecta, so I would imagine she has the most to fight for to be on the podium. She can do the quad Lutz and some other quads. I thought she was a little cleaner in her programs earlier in this season. She seems to be struggling, and I never know what her layout is going to be from one competition to the next. Mainly, how many quads, which quads is she going to attempt? I never know if she's going to add some more or scale back. I hope for the best, but if you're a skating fan, you're going to watch the competition in Montreal, you'll see a notable difference between skating quality between Trusova and the other two ladies. But that doesn't mean she can't make it on the podium. The quads will have to be there, though.
I will give her one credit, and that credit is that I think she has a lot of fire in her belly, and she's very competitive, and she has a strong core to go after all those jumps. But based on what I've seen this season, it seems like she kind of wants it a little too much. She kind of wants to, like, she wanted to debut on the international senior circuit and show everyone, like, I am the next big thing. And she is the reigning junior world champion, I believe. So I think she really wanted to make a strong case for herself as we head towards the Olympics in 2 years. However, like, those quad attempts, especially the opening quad Salchow, I think that she was doing, it never went well. And I was just wondering, like, for some reason, the easiest of the quads that she attempts has been her nemesis. So it'll be kind of interesting to see which Trusova shows up at Montreal. Like, will she be hungry and like really go after a medal, or will she kind of like dial it back down and just go for a clean program? Because even with a clean program, I think that her technical goods are still going to keep her in the top group. But then again, there's so many other skaters that are also attempting triple axels who have more maturity. For example, Rika Kihira, and I'm sure we'll discuss her later on as well. So, but I think Trusova has potential. She's not my personal favorite, but I have to admire someone who really just goes after it. I know that's politically correct, and I'm known for being that way, but that is what I see in Trusova, and it's a great quality to have as an athlete. So
never apologize for being the way you are. We appreciate it. So to defend Trusova on what you said, how she's struggling with the quad Salchow, the easiest one, just because a jump is the easiest one to most people or lowest in point value doesn't mean it's the easiest for an individual person with their experience, their body. But true, it's interesting that, she'll manage the Lutz but not the Salchow. But, just because it's easier for someone doesn't mean it's going to be the easiest for her. The other thing I wanted to point out is that Trusova has the most to make up after the short program, because right now a lady cannot do a quad jump in the short, and a lot of the top ladies are doing triple axels. Trusova has not been, so she usually goes into the free skate lagging about 5 points from the leader, sometimes more, sometimes less.
Going off that point, Justin, too, she has been practicing the triple axel. So she's been practicing the triple axels on Instagram, if I remember correctly. But I don't think she has ever fully attempted it in a competition. And that's two different cases, practicing on practice ice versus competition. So we will see if she tries to up the game and try to go for a triple axel. But at the same time, do you really want to risk a major element of getting under-rotated and minus grades of execution, or just go for a clean double axel? However, speaking of the double axel, she was also struggling with that at the European Championships. So we will see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what all of their strategy is for Worlds, and I don't think we know, or the fans know. We're just gonna have to sit back and watch. Yeah. So let's talk about ladies from another country. Japan also qualified 3 ladies, and I think Rika Kihira, reigning national Japanese champion, has the potential to break up a Russian podium sweep. And she just recently won the 4 Continents Championships for the 2nd time in a row. Kudos to her for that. She is the only one out of the Japanese ladies who has not won a World's medal in the past. She was 4th last year. I think she really wants to be on the podium this year. She's got a good chance. Why does she? It's because she has a very solid triple axel. Before seeing Aliona's, I thought that Rika's was the best. Aliona adds more transitions, but Rika's triple axel is very secure. I think last season she was kind of off and on within the same competition. Like it was either on in the short or the long. But she does 1 in the short program, 2 in the free, 1 is in a combination in the second half of the program. So she's doing what she can to maximize the points. And I like her programs this season. Breakfast in Baghdad, short program. It's not everyone's cup of tea. Yeah. I'm aware of that. I love it. I love her dress changes. It's upbeat, it's fun. She keeps up with the music. I do think she tends to be underscored in PCS, especially when compared to Aliona. I think they should be closer than they actually are. I'm not saying one should be above the other. But so I think Rika also has a little bit of an uphill to climb if her goal is to win gold. If it's just to be on the podium, just go out there and be clean. She can do it.
Yeah, last season I think everyone was thinking it was going to be Rika's year to win the World Championships, but I think there's so much pressure that goes into being a Japanese skater in a Japanese hometown Worlds, and I think the pressure was really on her to win that title for her country. But this season it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, because I think that there's been more pressure put on the Russian ladies that were coming on, that she probably feels like, hey, I just need to do my thing, and if I do my thing, I can probably still contend for a medal, if not the gold medal. And she also has been practicing the quad Salchow. It's been looking stronger in practice from when we first saw it earlier on in the season practicing. So we'll see if she decides to put it in for Montreal Worlds. Not that she needs it. I think that if her goal is to just make it to the world podium, then the triple axel will be enough, considering she does skate with more maturity than some of the other Russian girls that are still skating more like a little bit of a junior.
Yeah.
But I like the short program as well, Justin, so I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I know that was a little bit of a controversial program amongst skating fans on Twitter. Love you guys, just saying. But I like the program too.
And if you're wondering why she opens her program with the triple Salchow, you don't always see that from someone of Rika's caliber. It's because one day maybe it could be a quad Salchow. From the hearsay that I'm seeing on Twitter, it sounds like she's leaning towards no on attempting that at Worlds, which I think would be smart. She recently competed at, was it Challenge Cup, and did such a good job.
She won there as well, yeah.
Yeah, she did 2 triple axels in the free skate. I believe she only did 1 at 4 continents. So, building up endurance and really upping the ante. So I am looking forward to Rika. I really want her to win the medal. I'm not going to say that's a prediction, but that's a heavy want from me. Moving on to
and
the
also,
next. Oh, yeah.
Before we move on from Rika, I just want to say, one thing I also appreciate about her is that she also does not give up either. We saw that a lot at 4 continents where, she made a mistake early on in the program, and she really just fought and fought and fought and added in triple combinations near the end. And then she ended up, for the points that she lost in the earlier mistakes, she was able to make up in the second half. And that's a true athlete. So anyone who watches this sport, we love someone who just goes after it despite the mistakes. So, yeah, I expect her to fight until the last second of her music. So
that's right. She's good at thinking on her feet, and not every athlete can do that. They have to stick to what the layout is.
Definitely.
Yeah. Then the next skater I want to talk about is Wakaba Higuchi. Surprising a little bit to see her here, but not so much if you saw how she skated at the Japanese Nationals, where she won the silver medal there. Hasn't been at the top of her game, especially considering last season or early on this season, but I'm happy she got this opportunity. Had a solid enough showing at 4 continents. I believe she was 4th there. She attempted the triple axel in the free skate at 4 continents. Did not land it in the program, but there are videos on YouTube where she landed it in the warm-up before the free skate. So I've seen it. It looked good. So I would be happy to see a triple axel from her. Since she hasn't done it clean in a program yet, competition that I'm aware of, maybe save that for the long program and not the short. But speaking of the short, I love her program this year. I believe it's to Set a Bird Free by Sia, choreographed by Shaylin Bourne. Shaylin and Wakaba just produce magic to me, Kanishka. I'm still in love with her La Energia short program from a few seasons ago. That was very acrobatic. And Wakaba, it's nice to see her get this opportunity when she's had kind of a downer season last year. So I'm rooting for her as well.
And Wakaba is also the one that's doing the Matrix free skate, right?
No, you're thinking of Kaori.
I'm thinking of Kaori. That's going to be so sad that we're not going to see that in Montreal. But again, Wakaba is a world medalist in the times in a few years back, so she does have the goods to deliver as well, and it's kind of nice to see her coming back on the ranks. But I think top 5 would be her goal, considering that it is such a deep field this season, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to get on that world podium. But then again, as Scott Hamilton said at every commentary time that he had, the ice is slippery. So
that's right. I think her goal would just be to skate clean. She has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
If her programs are clean, she's going to be one of the most enjoyable programs to go back and rewatch because she attacks a lot of her elements. She has really good energy. Spins and jumps are all there. Sometimes she can look a little fatigued in the second half of the free skate, but it's nothing too jarring. And then we're going to move on to the next Japanese skater, which is Satoko Miyahara. Also, same as Wakaba Higuchi, glad she gets this opportunity. We were not sure how the Japanese Federation was going to handle her finishing 4th at Japanese Nationals. She did not go to 4 continents, but she gets to redeem herself here at Worlds. It's been an interesting season for her. A lot of us can understand because she's going through a coaching change, now training in Toronto in Canada with Lee Barkel. I imagine they're tweaking some of the jump technique. So she's not always on, but she's had some good moments so far this season. So I do believe she can put out some clean skates. She competed at the Bavarian Open and won there. Not perfect, but did respectable enough. Again, I sound like I appreciate the short programs more, but I really like her short program. There's some issues with some of the choreographic movements towards the end, but I like where the drop beat happens before the step sequence. I'm a sucker for that. And it's different for Satoko. And then we see her skating to Schindler's List in the free skate, which, is kind of more of her tempo.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how Satoko does at these Worlds, because I'm a fan of her skating, and I think it's very beautiful and ethereal and what we expect from a lady. Mm-hmm. But now it seems like the jumps are being a lot more looked at. And when we look so much on the jumps, we notice the jarring, like under rotations that she's prone to. And I think at Japanese nationals, like many of her jumps were called under rotated, which is why she placed as low as fourth at those nationals. And I do worry with her going to Worlds, depending on the technical caller, of course. This could be a great showing for Satoko, or it could be something a little bit lackluster. And hopefully it's not Shinomato from Japan, because he is definitely going to call every jump under-rotated, because that's how precise he looks at those jumps.
Hey, as long as he's consistent, I don't want any athlete bias here. Call all underrated jumps as you see them, no matter who the athlete is.
Clearly he has no Japanese bias, you know? He called Mariah Nagasu out.
That's right.
So that's the only thing I worry about with Satoko. But as long as she's like having the time of her life, like she has been on the scene for such a long time, I hope that she's just able to skate for Satoko and for the crowd in Montreal, because I think she will definitely get the audience backing her, and you'll probably hear a pin drop in the audience when she skates that free program to the Schindler's List as well.
Yeah, she has a strong fan base in North America. So I definitely see her in her element in Montreal for this competition. And now, I think that's all I have about Satoko. So here's one interesting thing now to mention Kanishka. Kazakhstan last year qualified 3 spots for the ladies because Elizabeth Terzhenbayeva won the silver medal. She's out this season based on an injury and some other changes in her skating career. And then the other women from that country did not meet the technical minimums to qualify for the competition. So there will be no lady from Kazakhstan. And just to go off of that, none of the 3 medalists last year at Worlds are competing this year. So no Alina Zagitova, Evgenia Medvedeva, or Elizabeth Terzhenbayeva. Interesting. And Elizabeth Terzhenbayeva last year, I believe, was the only lady to attempt a quad jump, and Rika must have been the only one to attempt the triple axel. Things are going to look a lot different this year, especially considering that Wakaba Higuchi has been attempting the triple axel.
Yeah, it should be very interesting. Poor Kazakhstan, that they can't send anybody. And here we thought that Canada was the one that was having so much tech minimum controversies. I think Kazakhstan had it worse, where they have 3 spots and they are not sending 0 skaters, unfortunately. But on the positive side of things, I think it's kind of good that they're not just telling Tursunbayeva, hey, you are injured all season, but we still want you to compete. Because I think that China did that to Lu Chen back in the 90s, where they're just like, hey, go to the Worlds in Lausanne and qualify a spot for the Chinese ladies team. And she did, and she did not qualify a spot, and she had to like earn it back. So I'm kind of happy that Kazakhstan is letting Elizabeth heal and get better. I don't think she's officially announced a retirement, so we shall see if she comes back for another Olympic Games. And speedy recovery, I guess. There you go.
The athlete's health always comes first. So I agree with you there. You mentioned Canada earlier. We'll get to them later. Yeah. But let's talk about the Americans. So the Americans qualified 2 spots, Bradie Tennell and Mariah Bell. I'm going to sound like a broken record if you follow me, but I think Bradie has some of the best programs for her, curated for her best assets this season. The short program works, the long program works. Every time she skates, though, I go on Twitter and I see people critiquing her costume choices. And don't get me wrong, I like fashion. I don't always see something wrong with them. Maybe that's me. I'm impressed by her jumps. She does the triple Lutz, triple toe. Don't go for the triple Lutz, triple loop in the short. That is not your friend. Stick with Lutz toe. And then in the free skate, I like that she does that combination twice. Once in the second half of the program to really maximize her points, because she does not have a triple axel or a quad. That being said, Kanishka, her short program score has been averaging out around 75. So that is really, really good for an American right now. I am so proud of her. It also looks like she's very comfortable with her programs. and like she's not letting any of the pressure get to her. You know, it's not like she's consumed with placing higher than the Russians or Rika Kihira, which I like about Bradie.
Yeah, Brady's definitely growing on me as a person and also as a skater, especially this season. I think that this season, her programs are definitely more up her alley. And speaking of costumes, it seems like she also has very strong opinions on her costumes. Like she said, she didn't like the costume that she was wearing in the fall, so by national she got a new costume. And then I know there was some not so nice comments made by fans on Twitter with the new costume, but she seems to embrace it and enjoy it. And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of the most important thing, is that you feel comfortable in what you're wearing and what you're skating to. And yeah, Bradie's been coming on strong this season, and I'm really grateful to see that. And what better timing for these American ladies to really start coming to their own than 2 years before the Olympic Games. And since there's only 2 spots this season, I do think that this is going to be the year that we get 3 spots back. And it seems like the 2 ladies that we are sending are determined to do that. And yeah, they're just great sports women, and I really love both of them. And yeah, I'm cheering my Team USA from back home here. And I expect Bradie to really place the highest she's ever placed at a World Championships here.
Yeah, and she's got some momentum going for her. She won the bronze medal at 4 continents, so her first 4 continents medal. Great. She qualified for the Grand Prix final. That was like, hallelujah, thank you, heavens. And she did a respectable job there. Obviously, the field is so deep, it's really hard to medal. I don't even think Rika Kihira medaled at the Grand Prix final. So it was great for Bradie to be there. And then Mariah Bell, I don't think has skated any better than she has this season. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see her at 4 continents. We did see her at nationals where, whew, that free program was the talk of Twitter. Boy, did it make people feel emotions of love and like proudness, but also anger because of the results. And then we had to explain the sport to people. But she needs to go off that momentum and skate just like she did at nationals. Even better, I would have to say, at Worlds in Montreal. And by even better, I mean, I wish she would do 2 triple-triple combinations, like replace the double axel triple toe.
I think that should come next season. I really think that she's kind of honing it. I think she's kind of honing in on this consistency right now with Raphael. And I think her mind, body, and soul are all working together. I think I said it early on in the season when I saw her skate at Nebelhorn, and I was just like, wow, I think this is going to be a great season for Mariah Bell. And she's really riding on that momentum as well. And yeah, at Nationals, she helped me. I'm not sure if I told you this, but if you probably saw my tweet or my Facebook, I kind of lost a lot of interest in skating over the last couple of years, especially recently. So to see Mariah Bell skate to Hallelujah, I was just like, there's something so beautiful, and it made me love the sport again. And that doesn't always happen with skating. It takes like a moment for that to happen. So, and Mariah's skating with confidence, and I would like to see her continue that confidence and skate the best that she can at Worlds. And speaking of programs, I like both of her programs this season, preferably the long, but hey, who doesn't like Work It Blank by Britney Spears. I don't know if YouTube will allow you to say that word, so I'll just keep it PC.
Thank you for that. Her free program is very nostalgic, so it brings us Americans back to like one of the great times of figure skating, you know?
Yeah.
So hallelujah. But the short program choreographed by Adam Rippon, that brings like a new youthful exuberancy out of me that I didn't know existed. So I dig in the long ponytail, but you make a good point. I do think they have as good of a shot this season, if not the best than before, to gain back a spot for next year, because it has been Bradie and Mariah going to Worlds together for, you know, this isn't their first time. So I think this year they can do it. You know, think of the 3 Russians. You know, one of them might not be clean with all the quads. With Japanese, Rika's the strongest one. No, they could pull up some good results and make it happen.
And then just a little factoid to just sprinkle onto your video, Justin. The last time the World Championships were held in Canada, Team USA was able to get 3 spots back thanks to Ashley Wagner and Gracie Gold's placements. So who knows? It could be the time to get back 3 spots. And the last time, I believe it was Ashley Wagner who said, this time around, I want to be on the team that gets back 3 spots. And I think Bradie and Mariah both have that same mentality, because I think that's what they said in the press conference. They are determined to get 3 spots back. And I think determination definitely takes you far in life. So if they kind of like are able to unite with that same goal, beautiful things can happen.
That's right. And Canada is our friend. So, good. As long as we're on North American soil, I think our girls do well. Okay, now on to the Korean ladies. They were able to qualify 2 spots for the World Figure Skating Championships this year. And they have 2 really solid, lovely skaters competing, Kanishka. Their names are Yelim Kim and Yu Young. And I gotta say, Yu Young is probably the star out of the 2. She won the silver medal at the most recent 4 continents. And guess what? She does triple axel. I don't think she's always clean with it, but I love that she attempts it. And I would say this, even without the triple axel, she does have a lot of technical prowess. She really attacks her jumps. Is really solid on the landings. And she's a very good performer overall.
Yeah, she really definitely had a moment on that home ice at 4 continents. And the audience was definitely going to support her all the way to the medal stand, So, total different ballpark being at a senior world championships. I believe it's her first time. I think a lot of people were expecting Unsu Lim to make the world team, but unfortunately not. But again, like, this girl was at some Grand Prix attempting triple axel, so we know that she's more than capable of landing that jump with a lot of speed coming out. And yeah, I expect her to be the star of the Korean team.
And she's really young. Like, she was at the Youth Olympics, and now here she is competing at Senior Worlds, and I think is a contender for, I don't want to say a medal, but I want to say she's got a great chance at being in the top 6. She even beat Bradie Tennell at 4 continents, and Bradie has been skating, the best that she ever has been. So that's great to see from her. And then her teammate, Yelim Kim, or Kim Leim, she has good fundamentals. I think she just needs to work on being more comfortable with her skating. I'd like to see a little bit more knee bend and paying more attention to the music rather than just skating along to it. That being said, she does some really good triple combinations, can put out some clean performances. She did a respectable job at 4 continents. And maybe I'm being a little harsh because Yu Young is just so good and seems so advanced for her age. But really, South Korea has 2 skaters in the ladies' discipline that they can appreciate in Montreal.
Yeah, it's just lovely to see that after the aftermath of the legend known as Kim Yuna is still bringing up new talent from South Korea. And so this is what we are getting, which is like solid triple combinations. Now they're working on triple axel. The future looks bright in South Korea.
That's true. Okay, now time to bring up the last country who qualified 2 spots, Canada. There are things to talk about with Canada. We'll start off by talking about the ladies who qualified. Then we'll go into the backstory if you're not aware and you're watching this. So Alicia Pino and Emily Bausback are competing in Montreal on home turf, which is really exciting for them. Alicia Pino was 4th at Canadian Nationals, but she was 1st after the short program, so I think she just let the pressure get to her. In 4 continents, she was the highest placing Canadian lady. She has good attack and spunk. She is known for having a really good short program. I think it's to Lady in Black by Amy Winehouse. It very much suits her personality. Long program, she seems to struggle with a little bit more, but at 4 continents, that was the best long program I've seen from her in quite some time, internationally speaking. I think she wants to skate even better than that at Montreal. The goal for the Canadian ladies is just to qualify for the free skate. If you're a casual fan, you're watching this, you don't understand. All the athletes who qualify for Worlds get to skate the short program, but there's a handful who place low enough, and there's a cutoff where they do not qualify for the free skate. Both ladies want to qualify for the free skate. Alicia Pino can do it. She just needs to land that triple combination, and she should be good. Another thing I wanted to say before I hand it off to you is she has amazing spins. Speed, centering, and also in the upright position, great flexibility, reminds me of Sasha Cohen.
And if I recall correctly, she is from Montreal, right?
Yes.
Her family. So hopefully she can withstand that sometimes pressure that comes from skating in a home crowd. And yeah, just skate for herself and also be able to separate the two segments of the program. Like one is a short program, one's a free skate. Because sometimes it goes to your athletes think so much, and then the pressure really starts to build on their mind, which kind of will affect the skate. So hopefully she'll be able to finally separate the two programs and skate well for herself, because again, she has a triple combination. She has great spins and great flexibility, and those are all the fundamentals that are needed in order to be a good competitor in the event. And if she can do that, I think she'll be very happy with how she skates here and should easily qualify for the free skate. And I'm excited for Alicia because I think that she has a lot of spunk, and that's kind of refreshing to see, because sometimes there's so much of a cookie cutter method that they're in skating where every skater wants to look like what is in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always nice to see skaters embrace their personalities and their uniqueness and their rare qualities that they have. So
that's right. And another point I'll mention about Alicia is that she didn't medal at nationals a month ago, but I think she's hungry to be the leading Canadian lady internationally, because there's a shift right now in I'll just say Canadian figure skating, but especially in the ladies, there's a new generation of younger skaters coming up. We saw that at Canadian Nationals. Speaking of which, Emily Bausback is the reigning national Canadian champion. She will be competing there, but I think Alicia has a good shot at placing higher than Emily, and therefore being the leading lady internationally. I think I already said that 3 times. I apologize. But it's true, because when you're in that position, you get some of the more desirable assignments for the next season, and potentially more funding from the Federation. So Emily Bausback, I will say I am rooting for her, since she's the one who is competing in Montreal. I want her to do well, but she has been competing so much lately, Kanishka. Not every competition has gone so well for her that I'm not sure how it's going to plan out. Hopefully we don't see a case of over-competing where she looks a little exhausted, because she's had to compete so often the past few months to gain the technical minimums to skate at Worlds. But hey, if she's there, she makes the most of it. We get to see My Heart Will Go On in the free skate, and she does have the ability to rattle the jumps off one after the other. I will say though, is that sometimes when she falls, they do look kind of scary.
Yeah, now that we are confirming that that Canada, why am I feeling like I'm from Canada all of a sudden?
I'm rubbing off on you.
Yeah. I feel like because it's official that Canada is now sending Emily Bausback, I think that as upsetting as it is not to see Madeline Schizas, who we'll probably discuss later, who did not get the spot for Worlds, I wish her all the best, and I hope that she qualifies for this free skate and she's able to skate her heart out.
Is that it?
But if I was Skate Canada, I would definitely send Madeline Schizas. This thing. That's all.
Since we're on the topic of Madeline, I am boiling up here.
I know. I'm trying to.
How much background do we give? Okay, so Madeline Schizas, 3rd at Canadian Nationals, granted by surprise to a lot of people. She was
Oh yeah. Wait, she was a junior though, right? She was a junior at Canadian Nationals, right?
No, she was senior.
She was senior. Okay.
I
She's
was
just
there.
competing international and junior. Okay.
Yeah, I was there. Let me recap. No, just joking. So she was
Sorry.
third, but the program wasn't clean, so she had the potential to win that night. She was sent to Bavarian Open as a junior and won her segment. Then Skate Canada sent her to Challenge Cup, where she won the bronze medal, and Emily Bausback was some 10 places behind her. So everyone thought that Madeline was going to be named to the world team because she had earned it by skating so well, so many times, internationally, by the way, that it was just a big surprise and there was outrage. I'm still kind of angry thinking about it. I think Madeline Schizas is the one Skate Canada needs to be investing in. She's proven herself. I just hope that Madeline is able to continue the success next season. But I do think it is the wrong choice made by the Federation. I can't change the decision that was made, so I am rooting for Emily. Madeline Schizas, it should have been her. But Madeline offers something very bright for the future of ladies skating in Canada. That's all I can say.
Yeah, my heart breaks for her because I think that she really wanted to prove to them that they should send her to Worlds. And then the fact that they didn't really do any favors for her at all. Like, it's still upsetting me, and I'm trying to, like, compose myself because I usually don't show anger on video. But it is disappointing to see an athlete really prove themselves time and time again just to be, like, forgotten about. But I hope that this inspires her and gets her so rattled up in the most positive of ways, and she proves to them that they made the wrong choice and that I am the one that they should be looking at as far as perspective for the next year's World Championships and maybe the Olympics as well.
That's right. I was so rattled up by the news that day that I almost got on and filmed a video like by myself discussing my opinions. It would have been an angry video, so I'm glad I didn't. I'm even a little angry right now. But let's go through some of the reasons why it made sense to send Madeline. She won the Skate Canada Challenge, which is a competition qualifying for nationals. So this isn't anything new. She can skate well, and also at the Challenge Cup, her program component marks in the short program were higher than Emily's. And of course they were in the long program too, because Madeline was cleaner. It didn't make sense, but I'm getting riled up. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on to the
Okay, so those are the countries who qualified more than one skater. I believe we talked about most of the people that would be in the top 10. So now it's up to us to mention some other athletes. I want to start off with one of my favorite skaters from Australia, Kailani Craine. I love seeing her. She is very fabulous, amazing costume, amazing makeup, lovely programs. Her short program is to I Like It, or is it I Like It Like That? I think it's I Like It's cover of the Cardi B song. She's always fun and sassy, and then a more dramatic and serious free skate. I love her energy, amazing spins, nice speed. She does have some technical things to work on. Doesn't have a consistent triple, and it looks like she's attempting different combination options in each competition. So I'm unsure what her strategy is at Worlds, but hopefully she gets a clean combination, qualifies for the free skate. The one thing I will say is that I'm wondering what her strategy is going to be with the triple Lutz. That's a jump she attempts often. It also tends to be one of her lower scoring jumps because there's an edge issue and under rotation. That being said, when you see Kailani Craine skate, just focus on her performance because she is lovely.
Yeah, if I were her, I would probably go with the triple loop, double loop combination. I think that the triple loop is her money jump. It seems like it's her favorite jump because she tries to do a triple combination with that jump as well. But I think it's better to go conservatively, especially in the short program for her, just to qualify for the free skate. And then in the free skate, attempt all the jumps. And I think she should be solid for Australian skating, because we've seen it in the past where sometimes Australia could struggle and not qualify for the free skate. So
yeah,
focus on qualifying.
Yeah, she wants to qualify because that free skate is a very theatrical experience. Now, who are some skaters you wanted to mention?
I know that Alexia Paganini is competing here. She's from Switzerland. She used to compete for the United States as a novice, if I remember correctly. But she was also had a really strong showing at the European
Yeah.
Championships this year. So she could be looking at a top 10, top 12 placement, which is really great for a Swiss lady. We haven't really seen Switzerland do that great since the days of Stefan Lambiel, if I remember correctly, and of course Sarah Meyer as well. But that's been like last decade or so. So
Yeah, that's right.
um,
I saw her name on the results list from Europeans. I was like, whoa, like, look at you. Like, granted, there was a points gap between third place and fourth, but still, placing at the top of the bunch after the trifecta is still major.
agreed. Yeah. So I think that she's coming on very strong, and we shall see if she can translate European results to World Championships results. I don't expect a fourth place, but who knows? You can never say never. So,
That's right.
um,
And then from France, we also have May. You're also a big fan of hers.
yeah, Mae Berenice is a very fun, really great performer. I think she'll always get the audience on her side, no matter if she skates well or not. She's been on the scene for quite a bit. She's made it to several World Championships, Olympics, and European Championships, and she seems to just love what she's doing. Her jumps are not always the most rotated, but she really does go after them. And being that this is the Canadian World, they really do appreciate fun, loving, like up tempo programs, and that's usually Mae Bernice. So I'm sure she'll skate for the fun of it, and I'm looking forward to just watching her perform. So
That's right. Even though the jumps don't always go as planned, she at least attacks them.
she definitely does attack them. Yeah, she's a strong woman. So there you go.
There you go. I will talk about Nicole Schott from Germany. It's nice to see her competing year after year, and she's legitimately improved since I first discovered her like 4 or 5 years ago. And we know that she is American who skates for Germany, and we love all of our athletes to take any advantage that they can to progress in the sport. And I'm happy to see her continuing to improve. So Montreal being in North America, that should be a good experience for her.
And then you also have the Hungarian skater that you wanted to talk about as well, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't watch her stuff this season, but is it Yvette? Yeah, Yvette.
Yvette, yeah, Toth. I don't know how to
Yeah,
say it. Yeah,
but she had an exciting program. I think at the last Olympics,
yeah.
it was like a rock edgy themed program. Not sure she has that program anymore, but I'm gonna keep a lookout for her and hope she does well. And I apologize. I'm just thinking of this now. Is that our conversation was very heavy on skaters from Russia, Asia, and North America. But from what I hear, Na, my friend Na, who follows skating in such close details, said that there's a lot of really good European lady skaters that are coming up. So it's going to be very difficult for like Kailani Craine or both Canadian ladies to qualify for the free skate if they're not clean. So we'll have to
Yeah,
be
and the
on the
World
lookout.
Championships are very interesting in that case. 'Cause sometimes you can skate really well and still not qualify for the free skate. We saw that, not to discuss pairs, but like a pairs competition a few years back where everyone skated well and they just did not qualify for the free skate. So, but I think that our sentimental favorites and the ones that get a lot of exposure to this world of figure skating, Justin, will more likely than not qualify for the free skate. It seems like they know how to control their bodies, so then they don't get the nerves as much as the other younger ones that are just coming on. So it should be very
Yeah,
interesting
that's
and
right.
exciting.
You make a good point. So if you're watching this, you made it this far, thank you so much for viewing this video. It's about 50 minutes, Kanisha. Can you believe that? So I think I'm going to film more of these videos, based on the discipline because it's better off with time. So stay tuned to my channel and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you, Kanishka, and thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.